All right, folks, welcome to Hotlanta, although it's not so hot right now. It's more...
That's why we've got the bad backdrop.
It's more cold and rainy. And
pouring rain out.
Yeah, it was raining in Georgia and landing in the Atlantic. It was coming sideways when we landed this morning at about 2:40 a.m.
Yep.
Got to the hotel about 3. Players probably didn't get into bed till 3:15. I know it was my last look at the clock was around 3:30, 3:40. So going to be a real tough one tonight. Raptors 0-3 on the back end of back-to-backs against a team that's only lost one home game and is playing very, very well.
And this is an interesting team as well, Jonesy, because to me it's not home court advantage for this team.
No.
I mean, they don't exactly have the crowd supporting them. So it's just more about a talented team, period, getting it done in the comfortable surroundings of their home floor. But it's not like they've got that home crowd really pushing them and being that true sixth man. So, you know, the one thing, though, and I got to say it right now because I guarantee somebody's already thought it, not making excuses. Yeah, it's a back-to-back. Yeah, they got in late, whatever else. But these are the kind of games against quality opponents that you are going to have to start to win to make up for games like last night. And if you don't start making up for those games, you're going to find yourself out of the picture and on the outside looking in a hurry and probably unable to recover. Well, so you've got to start getting some of these games and get yourself back on track. Or the season, I'm not going to say the season's going to be lost. We're only not even 20 games in. But, man, you can't continue to dig yourself a deeper hole.
Here's the issue with these kinds of games, too. It's back-to-back for Toronto, but how many times in the last little while, and again, not excuses, but the reality of the schedule, that a team, Atlanta hasn't played till Sunday. It's now Wednesday, and they've been sitting at home Monday and Tuesday practicing, honing in on Toronto, probably watched the game last night. These are the games, and if you can get those, you may end up being a better team than even people give you credit for, because these are tough games to get. We saw it in Utah. We see it tonight. There's a bunch of times when Jay Triano said it, that teams are just kind of sitting there waiting for them, and Toronto's got to find a way. To that end, do they make some changes? Who knows? We'll see when we get to the arena tonight, but they've got to do something. They're at a stage right now where, you know, some people are saying this the season, you don't win it in the first month and a half, but boy, you can sure lose it and find yourself, as Eric said, out of the picture.
Yeah, you dig that hole a little too deep, a little too early, and it's going to be tough to recover. The one thing that's saving them right now, and I don't think, Jonesy, that the players, and I definitely don't think the coaches look at this, but the one thing that's saving them is the conference is bad right now. So
they're getting beat up by Western Conference teams.
And even last night, Washington in a sense picked up a game on you. They're below you and they're coming up. They're right on your heels now. But Charlotte, who's been hot, they lose. So you continue to push them down a little bit further. So you're right in that mumbled and jumbled mix where, you know, you could. It's almost like it's been the last couple of years in the East. I thought the East was going to be better. I know at the beginning of the season I said, hey, top to bottom, the East now looks better than the West. But the way teams are playing right now,
crabs in a barrel.
You could jump from 5th to 9th in a matter of a couple of games, it seems. So that's the one thing saving Toronto. But they can't sit back and hope or lean on that. You can't just say, yeah, well, we can continue to be average and middle of the pack because, well, everybody else isn't great, so we'll eventually get by. No, you've got at some point get it going.
Well, I said the line before, crabs in a barrel, and it's like Doc Rivers' line a few years ago when the Atlantic Division was called the Titanic Division. He said, we didn't play for 2 days and we picked up a game. He said it's the division is like the mob. Every time you think you're out of it, you're not. So
well, Toronto's still in second place, right?
Right, in the division.
In spite of the 4-game losing streak. It's, and that means nothing because they're obviously way down in the conference and they're out of the playoff picture, but that just plays to what you're saying.
A couple things to look at tonight. Josh Smith, a guy that has played very, very well. He's gotten off the 3 ball, is shooting a career high, close to 54% from the field, not taking the threes. Number 2 in the NBA in individual points in the paint, right ahead of Chris Bosh and just behind Dwight Howard. And then Mike Woodson, we know one of his assistants pretty well, and Jim Todd, Eric. We worked with him for a few years as he's part of the Raptor crew. When does Mike Woodson get some respect? His win totals have gone from 13 to 26 to 30 to 37 to 47, and the dude does still not have a contract for next year. I'd say he's playing the Rodney Dangerfield card right now.
Well, you know what? That to me says a lot about the organization, though, as well. That even though they're getting better, this to me is the Clippers of the East, a team that has always made questionable decisions and I don't think has truly stepped up with Cashola when they need to. And now's the time where they're going to have to do so.
Yeah, they're going to have
Yeah,
to.
they let Childress walk, and they've been able to go fine without him. They got decisions coming with Joe Johnson as well. That's another guy that's not talked a lot about in terms of pending free agency. And they're going to try and keep that nucleus and core together. It's going to be tough for them. They're going to have to spend some cash to do so, and it's even tougher to spend that cash when you're not making a ton via the gate because you're still one of the worst draws in the league in spite of the success of the team. It's tough.
Tough for Atlanta. It's going to be tough for Toronto, too. Listen to the game tonight on the Fan, 7 o'clock start.